Sri Lanka, it's Yasmin Yusuf with another edition of Decibel Podcast. And this time around, I have a name you know, especially if you are from Candy's music scene. Delaine from Forsaken. How's it going, man?
Good, going good, Jazz. Really looking forward for the gig, and yeah, it's all good.
Man, it's crazy that you guys are literally like coming back with like a huge fury, but it's at the final Robin Command gig.
Yes, so it has been 11 years since we last played a gig. So that was back in 2014. It was a Mosh Cream concert. After that, I thought I would never play again because I sold all my instruments and stuff.
Wow.
Gave up music, so I was going through a bit of a low pace in my life. So I gave up music and concentrating on my career and all that. So last year, 2024, Birjan called me, my good friend, the believer. He called me and said, "Brother, let's start jamming." And I said, "Machang, I don't have any instruments now, so let's go to Cult and just play with the guitars that they have." So Virjal and I, we started jamming and we were getting all the songs together, like the riffs together. He mentioned, "Okay, let's jam and let's see whether we can find a good drummer and a lead guitarist." And so we met two amazing musicians. One is a drummer. He's Isaac, amazing drummer. He's very creative and he's genius. And we found a gem of a guitarist from Candy. His name is Sachitra, and he used to play for Silence of Loud. He used to play for Silence of Loud. So it's like now it's like a four-piece unit. So the previous members, I'm not saying anything bad about my previous members, but when it's a creative process, Yasmin, we have to, all the members should contribute to the creativity. So that's what I lacked back in the day with my past band members. I mean, they played really well, but I need people who can, bring their ideas to the table when we create songs and, when we write stuff. So it's not like I don't want to be this person who, okay, Machang, let's play this. I had this riff, Machang, let's play this, Machang. I don't want to say that. So it should be a creative unit, Yasmin. So these guys are always giving me new ideas and stuff. So we have two amazing, brutally fast songs. So we'll be playing that on the 28th. Yes.
Woo! That sounds like absolutely something all fans should be watching out for because brutally fast,
Yeah.
Forsaken, yeah, I remember that energy, man, from way back.
This concert is like a rebirth of Forsaken, like a reincarnation. So from the songs that we used to play, we are turning into more, let's say, more heavy and fast and wicked, talking about politics as usual, and mostly isolation, pain, what people go through in life. So I like to write stuff like that. So the songs that we are working on are mostly about politics and isolation and all that. Addiction is going to be really fast, and let's see how it goes on the 28th.
I know. It's
Yeah.
going to be one for the books. Let's talk about the pre-Forsaken era where you guys were known as Dark Trench from way back. So how has your lineup evolved throughout the years? And I know you've introduced the newer members, but just once again, would you like to introduce them?
Yes. So on the drums, we have Isaac Shehan. As I mentioned earlier, he's a super awesome drummer, very calm and quiet. And he plays really well, Yasmin. I mean, I have played with a few drummers, but it's very comfortable with him. It's like it's very free. You just can play your instrument with him, and he's very down to earth, very understanding. So Isaac Sheehan on the drums, and on the bass, my longtime friend, the believer of Forsaken for all these years, very John Merceline, and also a great dude, very down to earth person, very creative, very silent also. And last but not least, this amazing gem of a guitarist that we found from Candy, Mr. Sachitra Jayavikrama. I mean, he was someone like me. I mean, I remember my young days where I just, play without even giving a damn about people. I mean, he is so fast. And so it's like a great combination of people, like four human beings. And yeah, so that's the new lineup.
The Dark Trench era. You didn't get talk too much about it.
Yeah, Dark Frontier was back in school, Yasmin. So that was a five-piece band where I used to play lead guitar. I didn't sing. I used to sing harmonies and stuff. So that had to break up because of differences, like, creative differences. And then I thought, okay, I should sing and I should release my frustration, even in school. Release my frustration. And so to start Forsaken, so there are previous things that I was inspired, especially bands from abroad and local bands. So I can remember back in 2004, I think there's a rock company gig and at Old Trinity and Sports Club. And Paranoid Earthling, Stigmata, Whirlwind, and I think Dylan Jaikodi, he opened the gig as far as I can remember. So I used to beg my parents, I want to go to this concert, please let me go and went with a few of my friends. And I was amazed, Yasmin. I mean, the way they played, the stage presence. So for me to start Forsaken, locally, I think Paranoid Earthling, Stigmata, they helped me, to start this band. Yeah.
Man. Ooh, what a story, man. That's a story for the ages. That's a story for the ages. How do you think the lineup has evolved during the years, Machan?
Yeah, so we have had a few lineups. So the first lineup were like my best friends from school. So Bishan was on drums and Chamil was on rhythm guitar. I used to play a lot of solos, and Nivanta was on bass guitar, so he's abroad now. So as I mentioned earlier, Yasmin, like there is a time where people, when they work together for a long time period, they try to, the creativity, as I mentioned, the creativity is not found. So at that time, I used to get the gigs, I used to write the songs, I used to call for practices. So at that time, we practiced in a house in Kandy. So it's far away from the Kandy town.
Wow.
Yeah, so practices and all that. So the creative differences, I mean, they played really well. I mean, every gig that we played, they gave their 100%, but the creativity, Yasmin, that didn't happen. So we had to walk away from each other. So the first lineup broke up in 2013. Yeah. And the second lineup was with Shane, who is playing for Stigmata right now. Yeah. And Ravindu on bass. And Samuel, I hope you remember Samuel, Yasmin. The thin drummer, he's very thin.
I think I have a recording of him somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I remember like in 2011 or 2012, I came to a studio practice.
Okay. So that was in
It was in a small room.
So this was in Kandy, right?
Yeah, with blue drums.
I think yes, is that the studio was Mercurial Studios? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's the place.
See that studio. So we used to jam there. And we had a lot of practice sessions in that studio. So yeah. So we played a few concerts until 2014 with Shane, myself, Ravindu, and Sam. So the last concert was a Mosh Cream. I think it was in October of 2014. So that was the last concert, Jasmine. Then I thought, okay, I should move away from the scene and I sold all my instruments, my guitars, my pedals. started concentrating on my corporate life, career, and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
So far, this lineup is pretty amazing. I mean, yeah, some good people, very understanding people. Yeah,
That's a very hard thing to get sometimes, just the right amount of people and the people who get your vibe, man.
exactly. I mean, there are people. I mean, how much you get closer to them. I mean, the vibe is not matching. I mean, you can't share
Yeah.
stuff. Music wise, you can't share stuff. So it's very hard to work with them. And there are some souls who are really understanding. Okay, machang, ab meme karamu and all that. We'll add this riff to this part. We'll add this drum break to
Hmm.
this particular part and all that. So it's all good. I mean, this lineup is so cool. Yeah.
Tell us about the first original you composed as Forsaken.
I think, as far as I can remember, the first original that we composed was Destiny. That song is a mix of punk and speed, thrash metal, and a bit of melodic harmonies. So that song is about people who doubt you, and once we reach our destiny, people start, okay, this dude has reached his destiny, and things that we told him. So the meaning of the song is people will say so many things, Yasmin, until you reach your goal, until you reach your destiny, people will say stuff. But when you achieve success, they will just come behind you and say, Machang, I doubted you and all that. So it's basically reaching our life's destiny. So that's the first song that I composed. The lyrics, the riffs, the solos, all are done by me.
And that was done in like which year, Machan?
That was in the beginning of 2005, I think. Five, yes, five, yes.
Wow, that song would have been what, 20 years old?
20 years old.
Whoa! That's so wild. So from that
So,
time till then, Machan, how has your songwriting style changed?
well, songwriting has been, I write a lot of stuff. I mean, I have my notebook and I write stuff when I'm in my deep thought, I write stuff. But that doesn't necessarily, change into a song. I just write stuff. And so the writing process has been still the same as been. I still write about injustice, politics, and all that. Right? I mean, there was this interview back then.
Oh, I remember
Yeah, you
doing that
remember?
interview, and I was like, he's getting so angry now. How do I control this guy's anger? We're live on air. Help.
Now these days, Yasmin, I'm a very calm person. I mean, like I have gone through a lot, and now I understand life. So that was, in our early 20s, I think. Yeah, late 20s, I can remember. So the songwriting has been the same, has been. So I like to, talk about these things that happens in society, the darkness, addictions, and all that. What people go through. I mean, personally, we all go through a lot. I mean, we don't talk about it. I mean, we have friends, has been, but not too many really listens to what we go through, right? It's very hard, sometimes you have people, you have so much people around you, but although you hang out with them, you just feel very lonely. So that's what I try to write in my songs. Yeah. So it has been the same, hasn't it? Nothing has
Just
changed.
your rage is necessary.
My rage is expired now. Yeah.
What lies? It's there. It's there somewhere. I'm joking,
Let's see.
man. I'm joking.
Yeah.
So what are so who are some of the notable Canadian bands who've shared the stage with Forsaken way back in the day?
Oh yes. So 2005, Yasmin, it was our first major concert. That was the first Rock Christmas. So that was at Old Trinity and Sports Club. So I can remember Paranoid Earthling was, I think they played, I can't really remember. Old Castles Massacre, Fall on Hope, Buddhi, and so many other bands. And the main bands that we have shared the stages with Paranoid Earthling. And so we had these concerts, you know, it has been Dark Summerfest and all that. So most of the Candy bands played. So Fall on Hope, Raven Six, what else? What else? Falcon Cry, Genocide, and Old Castles Massacre. Old Castles, they although they were from Nicktambo, they came and played with us. Like they played so many concerts with us. So all the bands, Yasmin, that we shared, I mean, it was brutal back in Candy. I mean, the fans were like, for each band, they supported and they gave everything, and you know, the cheers and the encouragement that they gave, it was something that I haven't seen. Like Candy, I mean, Candy bands and the fans were very, very into their music. I mean, they supported all the bands. So yeah, that's
I
it.
remember like Canadian bands and their fans being equally praised. That was like a rare thing, you know?
I mean, at that time we had this Candy Colombo, this
Yeah, the
dispute,
collaboration.
right?
Dispute? What dispute?
Yes. Yes. So this, I hope it's okay if I say this. Yeah. Is it okay if I
Yeah, yeah, I
say
guess
it?
it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Candy Rock Merge and the Rock Company, because Candy was building up with all these bands and these huge crowds and all everything. And the Colombo scene was just, I mean, it was also happening, but not brutally happening like Candy. I mean, the Candy, if you compare Candy and Colombo fans, there has been Candy fans are very, how should I say, very
Loyal.
brutal. He is loyal, exactly. And they do all these things before the gig so that they can feel good at the gig. And yeah, so I think we had some problems with the Colombo Rock Company and the Candy Rock Company thing. I was back in time, so now it's all good. Yeah.
Wow. Bali scene.
Right? Yes, Wali, like, you know, some of the bands, like, okay, let's say Paranoidling, they were in Rock Company. So back in 2005, I think because they were a part of Rock Company, they couldn't play the gig in 2005, I think. Yeah. Some issue, I don't know. Yeah.
Ooh, what a story. Machan, so when did Forsaken first come to Colombo and play a gig? Do you remember
Ah,
that?
yes. Yes. I remember the day. So it was the 13th of, sorry, the 3rd of February, sorry, 3rd of February 2007. So it all happened. So we had a concert in 2006 in December, and Fallen Grace was on the bill. And we didn't know anyone from Colombo. We knew only Stigmata, but like we didn't know Suresh and anyone, but we knew Stigmata. We knew the members, and they played a concert with us. I think it was at Swiss Hotel, 2006. So Chaturanga was among them. Chatu, then Sohan, Rakita, Shiva, and all of them were present. So that was an amazing gig. And in that gig, Yasmin, I think when Fallen Hope started to play, I think someone in the hotel came and switched off the trip switch. Yes. So we were
What?
supposed, yes, so we were supposed to finish the gig at 10 o'clock. So it was like 10:05 or 10:10. And suddenly the whole hall was like dark and someone switched off the trip switch. So yeah, I guess you remember.
Wow, that happened in Colombo, huh?
No, no,
Oh,
this was in
Candy.
Candy.
Okay.
Candy, Candy, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Chatu saw us playing, and then he called me and said, "Machan, there's this gig." So back then it was Metal Realm, Yasmin. Metal Realm. Okay, so I think Ravan Kama started in 2011. So before that, it was Metal Realm. So Chatu was the main part of it, and he said, "Machan, we are organizing this gig." And the bands were like, okay, Murloc, Fallen Grace, and Tantrum. So we had to open the gig, and we were pretty nervous. I mean, first concert in Colombo, and we traveled all the way from Kandy in the train, doubting ourselves. Okay, Machan, we should sound tighter, otherwise I'm going to kill myself. Yeah. And so we opened the gig, Yasmin, and there were a few people in front, and we played this cover. I can still remember we played "Afraid to Shoot Strangers" by Iron Maiden. So that was the cover we played, and that after that gig, Yasmin, we got this recognition. We were invited for many concerts in Colombo. So that's the first concert, Yasmin. 3rd of
Wow.
February 2007. Yeah.
2007 was a while ago. So wild.
To this day, Yasmin, I still thank Chatu. Like he says, "Machang boka hamadama kinone bang." You, right? So I will never forget that helping hand that he gave us for a candy man. I mean, and he gave us a spotlight, and that was the detonation for us, Yasmin, for the Colombo crowd to know us. So yeah, thanks, Chatu.
What were some of your first impressions of the Colombo bands at the time?
So yeah, Colombo bands. So there was a rock comedy concert in Aspen 2004. So we heard about this band. We knew Paranoid Earthling because me and Mecca, Ian Mecca,
Yeah.
we used to go to Mirchad's place after school. I tell my mom, I'm having classes, but I don't go for classes. I go to Mirchad's place, and we jam and we sing and we play the guitar. So we knew Paranoid Earthling. But we didn't know about Stigmata Whirlwind and Taunt, Siblings of Hatred. And yeah, so we went for that concert, and after seeing all those bands, it was a turning point in my life. I mean, are these guys from Sri Lanka? I mean, they play so well, very, the stage presence and all that, handling the crowd and the tones and everything, music wise, lyrics and everything. It's amazing. So definitely Stigmata, Paranoid Earthling, Whirlwind have inspired us. Yeah.
Very cool. So Machan, let's get talking about Forsaken influences. So way back in the day, how
Yeah.
did you guys get inspired? Because music was a little hard to get, because internet was just happening to our
Yes.
country and
Yes.
all that. So how did the influences happen?
Okay. So let's say before Forsaken, it was Dark Trench. So I had this friend back in school who was kind of a nerd who didn't really hang out with any of my friends. And he gave me this CD and he said, "Majang, you go home and listen to this." At that time, I had this Discman, Sony Discman,
Yeah.
right? So he gave me this CD, "Majang, you go home and you listen to this. You go to your room, Majang, don't play it louder. Just use your earphones. Okay. So I went home after school and I started listening to it. So the first song, that album, Yasmin, had a very beautiful acoustic intro. So that intro lasted around 1 minute and it became very heavy, the riffs and everything. So that CD was Master of Puppets by Metallica, right? So that CD changed my life, Yasmin. I wanted to sound like James Hetfield. I wanted to sing and play like him. And for us to mainly, Yasmin, I tell this all the time. Metallica has been one of my, major inspirations. Up to this day, I still listen to their music, and that and a bunch of local bands, Stigmata, Paradise, Whirlwind. Those are the bands who helped us to make this sound. I mean, especially the creating original songs, original riffs, putting your own words into it. So yeah. So locally, Stigmata, Paradise, for sure. Overseas, it's none other than Metallica. Yes.
And it was all thanks to CDs, huh?
Yes, CDs. So we had all these CDs. I mean, we had so many CD shops in Kandy. So I collect all my pocket money and I collect around 200 and I go to the shop and I buy all these CDs. So yeah, good
Well,
times, yes.
yeah, I can imagine. So, Machan, what were some of the shops you went to in Candy?
I saw Seven record bus, Seven. It had original CDs. I think it was original CDs, mostly Linkin Park and Iron Maiden stuff, Disturbed, Korn. And there was this another underground place. No one really knew about this place. Soul Entertainment. Yeah, it was in the heart of Kandy. I mean, it's like it was inside a shop. There was a shop, and inside the shop there was this CD shop.
Oh,
They
wow.
Yes, they had these posters and all that. So many good CDs. As I mean, Soul Entertainment. I think it was done by one of my good friends, Mosita. Udala.
Most
Yeah.
very familiar name. Wait, this is the
Yes.
Mosita who comes for concerts.
Yes. So he had a
What?
yeah, huge collection of CDs, and I think he was a part of that CD shop. So I used to buy all these posters and come home and paste it on my wall in my room. Yeah, so Seven Record Bar and Soul Entertainment were the main places where we bought our CDs.
You have
Yeah.
played mainly in Candy and Columbus so far, but what are some of the differences you see between the two when it comes to performing, Machan?
Yeah, so Candy, Yasmin, it's like our hometown, so we are very free. Even though if we say something wrong, it's like, okay, my kaula nahi machan, like, but in Colombia, Yasmin, it's like totally different. It's like a total different crowd, very eagerly looking at us. I mean, are they really playing the right riff for the solo and all that? Are they singing the right lyrics and all? So both cities, Colombo and Candy, has been when we play. I remember we played this first Maelstrom concert in 2011.
Hmm.
Yes, so remembering Keshan also, and the crowd was like for each band. I mean, I think 70% of the crowd was from Colombo. A few of our friends came from Candy, but the Colombo crowd was very supportive, Yasmin, and you got to know who we were. I mean, now so this is Forsaken, and this is what they play. It's very harsh and speedy and wicked. So Candy has always been the safe place, no, Yasmin. Like we can do anything we want. But Colombo is a different story. So yeah, both cities, we respect the fans and thank you so much for supporting us. Yeah.
What's the worst and best thing you face daily as an artist, especially as a artist in the heavy metal scene in Sri Lanka?
Okay, the worst thing is, Yasmin, still, I mean, Sri Lanka has to get to know what heavy metal is. I mean, it's just, I think it's a very small percent of people who really enjoy this music. And some people think that this will harm yourself and all that, it's very dark. It is dark, Yasmin. I mean, we talk about serious things. I mean, it's not like, these pop things we love and stuff. We talk about serious issues in this society. So people really don't want to listen to the truth. So heavy metal is about always the brutality, the truth about society, the darkness and all that. So the mainstream people, they don't really want to hear about it. So the main reason why I named the band Forsaken, Yasmin, is because heavy metal in Sri Lanka has been left alone. I mean, no one really gives a damn. Oh, these buggers are just shouting on stage. There's no meaning and all that. So that's the daily challenge that I face. Machang rock gahala monawada bang karanne no hariyanne and
Hmm.
all that, right? What's the use of playing heavy metal, Machang? So my answer for them is Machang, I play heavy metal, but that's a part of my life. I mean, that's from my heart. I don't want to make money from this genre. I just want to play this. I mean, there are so many, places where you can make money, like mainstream stuff. But heavy metal is something that I have inside myself, my soul, my heart. And yeah, so I hope in another few years, Sri Lankan heavy metal would be, it should have a good market, Jasmine. Like, yeah, like the mainstream. I mean, mainstream media should at least give,
Acknowledge and
yes, acknowledge the efforts. I mean, organizing a metal concert is not easy. I mean, like, it's not like organizing a mainstream concert. A lot of bands, the sounds and everything, the coordination. Now, each band doesn't sound the same as me.
yeah.
Yeah, every band has a different sound. So we play thrash and heavy and genocide shrines, brutal like death metal, very chaotic, and we have the black metal scene. So it's a mix of genres. So organizing a heavy metal concert is not easy as well. So I hope the mainstream media would, understand that, and at some point they would really give a helping hand. Yeah. So that's the negativity that goes on as well in this country. Mostly in this country as now. India has a good scene. India has a superb scene. Yeah.
Is there any message to the fans who are coming to see you guys after 11 years?
Yes. So we are shedding our old skin and we are, reforming as new serpents to the scene. And I want to invite all our friends from Candia, old friends who has been with us, and the new generation who hasn't seen us. And so this will happen on the 28th of June. So few days to go at Idea Hell. The gig starts at 3 p.m. and we will be on stage at 8 p.m. So two new originals and the classics. Let's have a good time. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the rebirth of Forsaken, the reincarnation. Yes.
Jaiwe, my man. See you at the gig. The gig.
I hope to see you too. It's been like, we can have a chat and everything. So are you coming for the gig?
Oh, hells yeah, man. Why would I not come?